Welcome to Bill Dance Saltwater. Great fun fishing that anyone can do. Yes, you can do this. The scenic St. Johns River in northeast Florida is the state's longest river and is the state's primary commercial and recreational waterway. It's 310 miles long and runs through or borders 12 counties, starting in Indian River County, and meets the Atlantic Ocean at Duval County. The St. Johns is a very slow-running river and is one of the few rivers in the United States that runs north. Its widest point is 3 miles across, which spans several miles between Palatka and Jacksonville, the largest urban area on the river. Many lakes are either formed by the St. Johns River or flow into it, and Ortega Inlet serves boaters and even mammoth cargo ships in and out of the Jacksonville area. Fishermen favor the river for sea trout and many other types of fish, especially redfish, which is what brought our host Bill Dance to this area today. He'll be fishing for big reds with popular area guide Steve Crowder, who operates Madness Charters out of Jacksonville. Almost any day you'll find Captain Steve guiding on the St. Johns River and its tributaries. He's really well known locally for his ability to find the bigger fish and unusual catches, and often puts anglers on the fish of their lives. His outgoing personality always makes for a fun day on the water, so imagine him paired with Bill Dance, and you'll know it just has to be a memorable trip. Let's join them and see what their game plan is.
Are these resident fish now? Do they come in here? Do they stay here? Are these, or do they migrate to this area?
They're here all year round in the inlet, and then during their redfish spawn, we start catching them further upriver. But for right now, they're real thick in the inlet, and they're there all year round.
Now, when it comes to tackle, what type of tackle do you use for these redfish?
You know, there's a lot of different tackles that'll work, but up here we're worried about conservation. We don't want to go out there and fight them on tackle that might be a little too light. This, I guess you would consider this a flipping stick. Something like this would work just fine for them. It's got lots of braid on it that's pretty heavy. What is that, like 50-pound braid on that thing?
Well, this is a light saltwater. This is a tidal fin oil rod. It's a 200 series XO reel, which is I've used in saltwater. So, I mean, it'll handle 30, 40-pound red pretty good. So, it's a medium heavy rod. It's got a tremendous amount of backbone. So, that's adequate for it, isn't it?
That's more than enough.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got that going. There goes a cargo ship. Before we get washed up on the dock, why don't we just push out and get going?
Sounds like a plan to me. Hey, Bill, I think we got a fish on, bud.
I got
Go ahead and grab that rod.
I got him. That's a good one.
There you go, Bill.
Good pulling fish. All of them are good. You got your bogus?
Yes, sir.
Here he comes.
There she is. That one might actually be a slot red. Still pretty green.
Come on up here, buddy.
It's hooked nice, right in the corner of the mouth. Come on, girl.
Oh, had a mouthful of.
Come on, baby. Settle down.
There we go. I'm ready, boy. Need pliers?
I think I can get this.
Boom. Little fella.
There you go.
Good start. Say bye-bye. Say toodaloo.
Toodaloo. There she goes.
Away he goes.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. By Quantum Rods and Reels, fishing at a quantum level. And by Mercury Marine, #1 on the water.
We are the wanderers. We are the ones who go out amongst the trees to get back to our roots. The ones with rivers flowing in our veins and an internal compass that always points toward the great outdoors. It's all within reach. Ascend. Gear for the adventure in you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and other fine retailers.
Mercury engine test.
Easy to maintain performance you can rely on. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
Mercury engine test.
Corrosion protection you can rely on. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by Bill Dance Digital. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for great information that can improve your fishing.
Hit. Fish on. Need the net? I'm right here at your service.
Come on now, my fish ain't all small.
You said you could always tell when a redfish was biting because of the way that rod tip bounced.
So basically what happens when a redfish first grabs a crab, they inhale it, they send it to the top of their mouth where they have these two big crusher pads that are going up and down. Every time they come down with the muscle to hammer that crab to bust it apart with the crusher pad, rod tip basically gives a bounce. He's not run off with it and he hasn't really technically devoured it yet, but that bouncing you see is basically him just crushing it. All right, so we kind of pause for a minute, let him finish crushing the bait, and then eventually that rod tip just sort of slowly starts to sink down, gets heavy, and you feel him taking off with it. And then
That's when you grab it and bust it.
that's when we go ahead and start reeling hard if it's a circle hook.
I got you.
Not letting you have a whole lot of nothing. Look at that.
Ooh.
See that?
Yeah, I saw that. You got the current starting to pick up.
Yeah, he's got his head down in it, hugging that bottom, and he's just not letting me have a whole lot much.
The tide's starting to
There he
rip
goes.
now.
There he goes. There he goes. Come on now.
Just bring him on up. I'm ready for him. Oh, look how pretty that one is.
Lost the lead on that one. I pulled him out of the rocks.
Right.
Hooked right at the side, right where that hook belongs.
That current. There he is. Isn't that a pretty one? Look how gold he is compared to a lot of them. Those you say out toward the jetties?
Yeah, the gold ones are out from the creeks. Yeah, he's been playing out in the creeks.
Okay.
And, you want me to get this hook out?
Yeah, you want to?
Nice, easy one there.
Whoa, bud.
You got it.
We're gonna
You got
turn,
it.
if you don't act crazy, we're gonna turn you back. You start that jumping.
Look at that big fish.
Woo!
That fin's all flared up. Gorgeous fish. Look at that.
Look at it.
Look at that color.
Pretty thing.
Look at that color in that face.
Say bye, baby.
All right, let's go ahead and get her in the water. Toodaloo, fish.
What a good one. Nice.
Hey, buddy. Whatever.
You did
this
good.
way. Yeah, let's go that route.
You did good. Do these fish in the river, say way up, prefer an incoming or outgoing tide?
Actually, there's a appropriate tide for every section that we actually fish. For this particular tide, my favorite tide is definitely the incoming tide. In fact, the first half of it. When we go over towards start fishing the inlet, exact opposite happens. We start liking that last half of the outgoing, first hour or so of the incoming.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
What do you say we head over to the big jetties?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
You got everything?
Yeah, we got everything put up. We're ready to rock and roll.
While the Ortega Inlet area here is certainly well known for its quality redfish, it's also quite famous as the home of Atlantis II. It was on this ship in 1986 that Dr. Robert Ballard used the submarine Alvin to show the world their first video images of the wreckage of the Titanic, which sank in 1912. Today's show is sponsored in part by Mako Boats, building legends for over 40 years. Gamakatsu, world's finest hooks. Motor Guide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. Today's equipment log is brought to you in part by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime.
Hey, KVD here. Let me take a moment to tell you about this new Team KVD reel from Quantum. It's ultralight and super fast to help me cover lots of water, and it's just 79 bucks. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, gotta go.
The new Team KVD series. Only from Quantum.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Grand Slam Mono and Braid. Big fish tough for when the money's on the line. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. And Mystic Lubricants, lubrication domination.
So actually we're going to be right out in here.
We're going to be sitting, Bill, we're going to be we're going to be on the north side of there's two jetty lines. You got one going on the south end, one on the north end. We're going to be the inside of the north, so we'll be just shy of where that diamond with the sea is right now. We're going to be just a wee bit west of it. But we're going to be basically right on the line of 40 feet, 45 feet.
Is this tidal water going out?
Yes, it is. It's always going out. For the St. Johns River, because our river naturally flows north. Even when the tide's coming in, a portion of the river is always going out.
So the current's stronger than the tide?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now when these fish hit, what do? They just slam it?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just come in there and you'll see the rod tip just kind of bouncing. And then you keep watching it and eventually that sucker will just double over and go. But initially, I don't know though. In the current though, they do tend to come onto it kind of hard because they don't really have a choice. They're passing through and they catch it.
It's like if they don't get it, it's gone forever.
Pretty much.
Or another one will get it.
Yep. And they will just dog that rod. It'll go down, and usually the challenge is getting the joker out of the rod holder because it's bending and it's got that bite into the seat of the rod.
Well, see,
holder.
these drift masters are set where you can grab them and you can pull them like this. You know, you can come up with them
The flush mount rod holders, man, the problem with them is when you get a good fish biting down on it, you got that rod doubled over and line
You can't get the rod out, there's so much pressure on it.
Exactly, especially if you got a gimbal cover on a heavier rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gimbal's fatter than the rest of the butt of the rod is, and it's like you're fighting it, and half the time the gimbal cover comes right off. Nice thing about this is I don't have to deal with that. All I gotta do is lift it up, it slides right up. It doesn't bite a hold of it or nothing.
Right. What I get, he takes back. Do these things run in pretty good sized schools?
Yes, they do.
I mean, normally in a lot of places they do. I see the leader.
Yeah, he's right there. Looks like a bull red.
Whoa, look at that big
There
thing.
she is, baby. There you go. Nice little red.
Let me get my pliers. You got it? There you go. There we are.
There you go. Not
How
bad
big?
little fish, Bill.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, how big is that one?
That's probably about 38.
Yeah,
About 38 incher.
one more.
You got a little heart-shaped dot on his tail.
Yeah. Okay, see if he'll go back.
This one won't need venting. You beat him pretty good, but
There you go.
she's gone.
Good deal.
She's out of here. Lappy actually had something.
This one's on. I got a fish on this one. I literally got a fish on it.
I think you do too, and I think I do too. Mine felt like it was coming in.
I got
Came
a
out.
fish on this one.
Oh, okay. Is it pulling drag?
Not yet.
What is
It-
that?
whatever
Big
it
old
is.
sea bass.
Ah,
It's a big old sea bass. He's a keeper. The size of that greenhead. That's a big sea bass, dude. I mean, that is prime eating right there.
it is. We'll eat
Yes,
it.
it is. He's prime eating. I mean, and that's huge for over here.
Woo. What is a sea bass? First one ever caught.
Sea bass is an offshore fish, and that is just a stud for a sea bass. That's huge.
The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week is brought to you by Mystic Lubricants and their complete line of JT4 marine products. A full line of products for your full line of pursuits. Visit mysticlube.com today.
Do you ever get skunked? How do you handle the frustration? Obviously, you've mistaken me for Roland Martin, but it really happens. A humbling experience is good for the soul. The days that I didn't catch a fish don't bother me nearly as much as the days I didn't learn something. Having a boatload of confidence will help you on every trip. And that's a trip offshore, inshore, or through life.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Orca Coolers, the all-American everywhere product, and by Finnor, legendary tackle since 1933. Closed captioning is provided by Bill Dance Digital. Follow us.
We are the wanderers. We are the ones who go out amongst the trees to get back to our roots. The ones with rivers flowing in our veins and an internal compass that always points toward the great outdoors. It's all within reach. Ascend. Gear for the adventure in you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and other fine retailers.
For over 35 years, High Seas has been providing anglers with the finest quality line in the industry. Well, guess what? They've done it again by introducing another high-performance line. New High Seas Grand Slam Blue Water, an extremely strong premium saltwater mono with a unique multi-polymer copolymer blend that's stronger than mono and provides superior knot strength, abrasion resistance, and it's softer and extremely manageable. This one stands alone among other saltwater lines. Grand Slam Blue Water.
Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin's new Echo Map series of chart plotter sonar combos. These awesome push-button units provide the clearest scanning sonar images on the water.
Like I've said so many times, the only connection between you and the fish is your line. And this is why it's so doggone important to use a good one. I use Grand Slam braid when I'm saltwater fishing. It's thinner, rounder, and it won't bury up. Knots are stronger and they don't slip, and that can make a big difference. The compact diameter reduces wind knots and rod tip wraps, and that allows for more fishing time.
If you're looking for the latest fishing information and tips, be sure to check out the free Bill Dance mobile app, available for both iOS and Android users.
That's on.
He's hooked. You got him. Fish on, Bill. Fish on. Nice. Woo!
That was a better one than it.
I think he just figured out something's wrong, huh?
Yeah, he just poop, 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 and then he pour down on it. We can take it drag.
Listen to it. He's a little more aggressive than that other one now. You have your hands full.
Do they have a tendency to go out or come in?
They tend to go away. They'll go out that way. They're the opposite of where you're pulling. When they get exhausted, they'll try to swing around and go up current, but I gotta keep an eye on these rods. They might be doubled up here in a minute. I think you got a much bigger fish this time, buddy.
I may come under you.
All right, here, check it out. Go ahead, do your thing. Hey, I think we got one on here now. Yup, fish on.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
man, we're gonna have a mess right here. We got fish on here.
Oh my God, dude. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be nothing short of a miracle if we can get these in here without breaking something off.
Are you in fairly close?
I was until he just ripped out a bunch of drag.
Well, they can get their self together and go to town, can't
Yes, they can. Weird how it just kind of turns on, ain't it?
I'm gonna just pump this one on.
I think yours is gonna be bigger than mine. Yours is giving you a little harder time than mine is. Well, I say that and he tears off a couple of yards.
This is a big old fish right here, brother. I see the leader. Oh, look at this one. I got the bogus.
Ready?
Let me get out of your way.
How's that for a red?
Oh,
Not a
that's
bad red fish at all. We still got another one to land here.
That drag system's pretty smooth, isn't it?
It's outstanding, man. I love this braid too. But that drag, you're not kidding, it's smooth.
You got him?
Yeah, I got him by the gill plate.
Okay.
Got him by hand.
Look how fat that fish is.
Look at that bad boy.
Look how fat he is. I gotta get this one out of the bottom of the boat.
You like
Let
that?
him go. Yeah, man. All right, let's
Well,
get this.
that out of you.
Yeah, I got the hook out of him. That is a big old fish.
Hey man, you tell me. Is that a big fish or what?
Hold him up there.
I can't hold him very long, I'll tell you what.
Let me see him. Turn him sideways. Let's hold him up.
Yeah. I got the boat off. So.
Okay. Look at that one. Man.
So you what, buddy?
We'll take him to the pond. You ready? Hello, baby. All right, here we go. Goodbye.
Well, as you can see, there's some fantastic redfish action to be had on the St. Johns Inlet. And in fact, it hadn't slowed at all by the time Bill and Steve knew they had a good show in the can. So what do you think? Will they just load up and head for home? Not on your life. Bill Dance is absolutely not leaving at a time like this, and neither is Steve. So they just keep feeding the reds and take part 2 so we could share all the action with you on TV for 2 weeks in a row. Be sure to tune in again right here next week, and we'll show you the rest of their story in St. Johns River Reds Part 2. We hope you've enjoyed Bill Dance Saltwater and learned that you can do this. Please join us right here again next week.